Emeline has a terrifying nightmare on Wallach IX, but she's not the only one. Every acolyte except Sister Jin is plagued by disturbing dreams. She is sleepwalking and almost reenacts a gruesome vision when Jin intervenes just in time to save her. The next day, the two of them talk about the strange event with Reverend Mother Tula. They discuss the meaning of these dreams and the stories surrounding Mother Dorothea's death many years ago. To find the truth, Emeline tries to use the truth sense on her, but it proves ineffective. While Sister Avila believes the event is an isolated incident, Tula is convinced it holds a much greater meaning. Valya needs House Harkonnen on her side, so she goes back home. Her great-uncle is far from thrilled to see her, and he is certain that Pruwet's death was no accident, suspecting the Sisterhood's involvement. It's time for the Harkonnens to finally have a Truthsayer. This is her nephew's decision, and he is clearly desperate for status and respect. She uses this to her advantage, presenting the idea of serving herself as Truthsayer for House Harkonnen, which would bring him immense influence and even a seat in the Landsraad High Council. On Salusa Secundus, Ynez joins her family while they are eating outside. Desmond is also there, and she brings up Pruwet Richese's death. He plainly admits to it, saying it was the right thing to do. She doesn't trust him at all, and she thinks Salusa is not safe for her anymore, planning to head off to Wallach IX and join the Sisterhood. Her parents, however, insist that the family must stay together, so they refuse to let her leave. Later, the Emperor enters a room where he finds Desmond burning pages from the book that Kasha left behind. He asks if he is the one who spread the rumors about the dead boy, but it is later revealed that his wife did it. Desmond urges the Emperor to let him use his abilities to solidify their position over the Imperium. For the time being, he refuses. It seems like Keiran Atreides and the rebels have big plans. They have acquired an Ixian thinking machine designed like a miniature airplane, which they intend to use as a weapon against the Emperor. Their strategy is to smuggle it through the ventilation system, and once the Emperor appears before the High Council, Keiran will open the grates. This attack would escalate their movement into a full-scale rebellion against the Imperial House. Sister Mikaela is among the rebels working as a spy and passes along the news to Mother Superior. Instead of being alarmed, she welcomes the uprising, seeing it as a perfect opportunity. She wants to intervene at the right moment, publicly saving the Emperor's life, thus rebuilding his trust in the Sisterhood. This would allow them to regain their influence, working from inside to expose Desmond as a traitor and remove him. Another key objective is securing Harrow's place on the High Council. To accomplish this, Valya orders the sisters to intensify the rumors that blame House Corrino for Pruwet's death, which is going to spread panic among the great houses. House Harkonnen is going to take the place of House Richese in the High Council under one condition. The great houses prefer not to confront the Emperor directly, so Harrow must accuse him of being responsible for the boy's death in front of everyone. Valya convinces him that this move will strengthen House Harkonnen's influence, and he ultimately agrees. The Sisterhood must find the meaning behind the troubling visions afflicting the girls. Tula decides to give them some spice, which enhances their awareness and allows them to relive their dreams in a more controlled environment, sketching their visions on paper. The session is intense, and the resulting drawings offer clues that Tula carefully examines later that night. To prevent unnecessary panic within the Sisterhood, she chooses to keep the alarming signs to herself. The Empress informs Desmond of the ongoing rebellion, insisting that he must take action even if the Emperor is hesitant. She wants to use him as a weapon, and tasks him with getting the troops ready to deal with those who use the thinking machines. Ynez has her own plans as well. She meets with Keiran and Constantine, torn over whether to betray her father or not. She wants to expose the truth to the Landsraad High Council, hoping to get rid of Desmond. Back on Wallach IX, Tula is in the underground lab with Lila, who is still unconscious on life support. She experiences a vivid dream in which Emeline discovers the hidden chamber and confronts her, blaming her for Dorothea's death and the slaughter of the Atreides. This moment effectively symbolizes Tula's inner conflicts and fears. When she wakes up from the dream, she is happy to see that Lila is fully healed and no longer on life support. With all the power struggles and conspiracies revolving around this event, the High Council session begins. All major players are present, with Keiran slipping towards the back to access the grates. At the same time, Harrow gathers the courage to rise and formally questions the circumstances surrounding the Richese boy. He hesitates to outright blame House Corrino, until the princess steps in and openly accuses Desmond. He responds by ordering the guards to bring the captured rebels. Speaking to the crowd, Desmond admits that he did it, claiming the boy was guilty of using forbidden technology. He then shows the Ixian machine before destroying it, revealing that everyone in the room would have been dead if he hadn't stopped the rebels. With the Emperor's approval, he shows his powers in front of everyone by publicly executing the machine sympathizers. His back started to bleed, and he exchanged a pointed glance with Valya before leaving the room. This is not at all what she had planned, but at least she gets the chance to collect a blood sample. She intends to send it to Wallach IX for genetic analysis to uncover his true identity. She clashes with her great-uncle that evening, who accuses her of being responsible for the downfall of House Harkonnen. She thinks she is not to blame, and watches him die before her eyes. Valya then turns around and finds her dead brother standing in the doorway. She hugs him just like she would if that was the real Griffin. The shocking revelation is that Sister Theodosia possesses the ability to shape-shift,